Congresswoman Bachmann, I'm going to ask you in a moment your own question about Governor Pawlenty, but I want to give you an opportunity to respond to his comments. You have 30 seconds. One, that you have no record of accomplishments in Congress, and two, that there's something missing in your resume because you do not have executive experience.
Well, thank you for asking the question. I would say, Governor, when you were governor in Minnesota, you implemented cap and trade in our state, and you praised the unconstitutional individual mandate, and you called for requiring all people in our state to purchase health insurance that government would mandate. Third, you said the era of small government was over. That sounds a lot more like Barack Obama, if you ask me. During my time in the United States Congress, I have fought all of these unconstitutional measures, as well as Barack Obama, and I led against increasing the debt ceiling the last 2 months.
I just wanted to pick up, and in fact, you anticipated the question I was going to ask you, and then I'm going to give you a chance to respond, Governor. Congresswoman Bachmann, isn't that about the worst thing you can say about a fellow Republican in this campaign, that he reminds you of Barack Obama?
The policies that the governor advocated for were cap and trade. He praised and wanted to require Minnesotans to purchase the unconstitutional individual mandate in health care, and he said the era of small government is over. I have a very consistent record of fighting very hard against Barack Obama and his unconstitutional measures in Congress. I'm very proud of that record. That is what qualifies me as a fighter and representative of the people to go to Washington, D.C., into the White House. People are looking for a champion. They want someone who's been fighting. When it came to health care, I brought tens of thousands of Americans to Washington to fight the unconstitutional individual mandate. I didn't praise it. When it came to cap and trade, I fought it with everything that was in me, including I introduced the Light Bulb Freedom of Choice Act so people could all purchase the light bulb of their choice. I also believe that big government is hurting the United States. We need to have small government.
And I'm sure you've been waiting for the opportunity. Governor Pawlenty, 30 seconds to respond.
Well, I'm really surprised that Congresswoman Bachmann would say those things. That's not the kinds of things she said when I was governor of the state of Minnesota. And moreover, she's got a record of misstating and making false statements, and that's another example of that list. She says that she's fighting for these things. She fought for less government spending. We got a lot more. She led the effort against Obamacare. We got Obamacare. She led the effort against TARP. We got TARP. She said she's got a titanium spine. It's not her spine we're worried about. It's her record of results. If that's your view of effective leadership with results, please stop, because you're killing us.
Wait. Congresswoman Bachmann, 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you so much. I was at the tip of the spear fighting against the implementation of Obamacare in the United States Congress. Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, and Barack Obama ran Congress, but I gave them a run for their money. Again, on cap and trade, I was there from the very beginning giving Speaker Pelosi a run for her money. That's why I was Speaker Pelosi about her #1 target to defeat last year, because I was effectively taking them on nearly every argument they put forward. I fought. When others ran, I fought, and I led against increasing the debt ceiling.
Okay, let's hold our applause, if we could, so we can get more questions in. Thank you.
I see 6 other candidates there. I'm going to go to Governor Romney. You're campaigning as the man who can fix the economy. Let's look at your record, sir. As head of Bain Capital, you acquired American Pad and Paper. 2 U.S. plants were closed and 385 jobs were cut. Later, you bought Dade International. Almost 2,000 workers were laid off or relocated. And when you were governor, Massachusetts ranked 47th of the 50 states in job growth. Question, you were going to be the jobs president?
Absolutely, Chris. Let me tell you how the real economy works. When I was at Bain Capital, we invested in about 100 different companies. Not all of them worked. I know there's some people in Washington that don't understand how the free economy works. They think if you invest in a business, it's always going to go well. And they don't always go well. But I'm very proud of the fact that I learned about how you can be successful in enterprise, why we lose jobs, how we gain jobs, and overall, in those 100 businesses we invested in, tens of thousands of jobs, net, were created. I understand how the economy works. Herman, Cain, and I are the 2 on the stage here who've actually worked in the real economy. If people want to send to Washington someone who spent their entire career in government, they can choose a lot of folks. But if they want to choose somebody who understands how the private sector works, they're going to have to choose one of us, because we've been in it during our career. And by the way, as the governor of Massachusetts, when I came in, jobs were being lost month after month after month. We turned that around. We were able to add jobs, balance our budget, and get Massachusetts back on track. And by the way, our unemployment was below the federal level 3 of the 4 years I was in office.
Chris will continue his round of questions on this round, and coming up, the issue of illegal immigration, the battle over health care. Please go to foxnews.com/politics to check out the live blogging on tonight's debate. We'll be right back from Ames, Iowa after a short break.
Hi, I'm Matt Strawn, chairman of the Iowa GOP, and thank you for joining us for tonight's debate. As the son and grandson of Iowa farmers, I, like many Iowans, was raised to appreciate the values of hard work, thrift, and personal responsibility. Iowans understand a return to these same values is necessary to get our nation back on track. From meeting candidates in our coffee shops to our farm fields, the Iowa caucuses provide everyday, hardworking Americans an opportunity to personally question presidential candidates on their principles and solutions for meeting the challenges facing our great nation. That process continues tonight as our Republican candidates share their vision with Iowans and all Americans at a time when our fellow citizens are seeking strong and bold leadership. So again, thank you for joining us, and thank you for being part of the First in the Nation caucus process.
Welcome back to the Stevens Auditorium on the campus of Iowa State University and the first Republican presidential debate in the Hawkeye State. Now back to another fiery round of questions from Chris Wallace.
Thank you. Speaker Gingrich, one of the ways that we judge a candidate is the campaign they run. In June, almost your entire national campaign staff resigned, along with your staff here in Iowa. They said that you were undisciplined in campaigning and fundraising, and at last report you're $1 million in debt. How do you respond to people who say that your campaign has been a mess so far?
Well, let me say first of all, Chris, that I took seriously Brett's injunction to put aside the talking points, and I wish you would put aside the gotcha questions. Like Ronald Reagan, who had 13 senior staff resign the morning of the New Hampshire primary, and whose new campaign manager laid off 100 people because he had no money, because the consultants had spent it. Like John McCain, who had to go and run an inexpensive campaign because the consultants spent it. I intend to run on ideas. Congress should come back Monday. They should repeal the Dodd-Frank bill. They should repeal Sarbanes-Oxley. They should repeal Obamacare. They should institute Lean Six Sigma across the entire federal government. A hard idea for Washington reporters to cover, but an important idea because it's the key to American manufacturing success. I'd love to see the rest of tonight's debate asking us about what we would do to lead an America whose president has failed to lead, instead of playing Mickey Mouse games.
Speaker Gingrich, if you think questions about your records are Mickey Mouse, I'm sorry. I think those are questions that a lot of people want to hear answers to, and you're responsible for your records, sir.
Well, if I get a rebuttal,
Pardon?
I think that there's too much attention paid by the press corps about the campaign minutia and not enough paid by the press corps to the basic ideas that distinguish us from Barack Obama.